Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We All See Things podcast with myself, Nathan, and my co-host is sadly not here right now because her computer went for a dump. But I have JT from Atrox Paranormal. Welcome, everybody, to JT.
Hey guys, I'm glad to be back.
I know it's fucking good. You just did a recent paranormal investigation, didn't you?
I did. We did a live one night and then we went back and actually just investigated it. So we did a TikTok live. So if you don't follow us on TikTok, it's Atrox Paranormal. We do live investigations on there.
It
So
is
we
pretty
went.
sweet.
It's fun, man. But I do like to investigate without the live because you're so distracted by the comments and
Oh yeah,
I, I don't want to be boring to people. I want them to be like know that I appreciate them being there. So, but
yeah.
yeah, it
But
makes it
like
hard to.
to do it, like a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot more to investigation than just being scared every 10 minutes. There's a
Right?
lot of nothingness. So if you're like watching this live, you're like, this guy's been walking down this hallway forever and nothing's happening. Like that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah. The cool part about the live though is that people see stuff that I'm not noticing because I'm, responding to comments and usually it's Rachel controlling the live, so she's good at responding too. But the last one we just did was at the Truckee River Murder House in Nevada, and
What was that called? The
like
murder
people's
house?
yeah, Truckee River Murder House.
Rocky River
It's a
Murder
lot.
House. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cool place. It was really small, but a lot of activity. And I mean, the story goes that there was a family of five there, and a transient just showed up one day and murdered the whole family in the early 1900s.
That's yeah,
Because it's
okay.
like
That'll
right off
happen
the
a lot.
train
Yeah.
tracks, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
That is like every horror movie. Like just like
I
nice,
know, right?
nice little family, and then like transient, you just see him standing there in the rain, staring at him through a window. Like that's how I pictured that when you said transient. I'm like just long hair, wet for some reason.
Oh yeah, and then you see the surrounding area. You got the river running right past it, the old trains, and then it has these gigantic trees, and some of them are like have fallen over. Like it's just the perfect spot for a horror movie.
Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect. So like, okay, so he just murdered the whole family. Like that's just the story. He just shows up, kills them all, leaves. Did they ever find out who it
Yeah,
was or no?
they didn't.
No, of
And
course not.
so
Well,
with
1900s.
transit, yeah. Plus, it makes you wonder, like, is the story true? Is it not? But I mean, from the responses we got at the location, it sounds like the story's true.
Right. Now, by responses, you mean like stuff on camera and
Yeah.
recording?
Yep.
Okay. Hmm.
So, do you know what an
So
Estes session is?
no,
So it's
please explain.
I use these headphones or noise canceling. You plug them into the Spirit Box, which is just a radio that sweeps. Mine sweeps it every 100 milliseconds, and
Jesus.
so um, and the theory is that they can talk in between the stations or over the stations. And I've removed the antennas off mine. I don't use any antennas because I don't want to pick up radio.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so and then you put a blindfold on, so you're just using your sense of hearing. And so when we were asking questions there, we asked how many people lived in the house. A voice said five. Were you murdered here? Yes. And then I asked what was the killer's name, and one of them said Phil.
Oh, okay.
And then after I started saying, like, talking to Phil, or so asking if Phil was there, I said, "Can you guys leave? Or are you stuck here?" And it said, "We can leave." And then a man's voice said, "But I always come back for them." And I was
That's
like,
cool.
"What the fuck?" Gave me goosebumps just talking about it.
That's awesome. Do you have this recorded? Like, do you like
Yeah.
do you record every single session you do this? Like,
Yep.
all right, it's cool because
So
that's really awesome. Because I didn't know it was called it's like a session or what'd you say?
Estes, I'm not 100% where that term
Estes.
comes from,
Yeah,
but
because I know what you're talking about. Because actually, Laura and I were going to do that. We were going to do. I was going to sit in a room and have the headphones on and stuff like that, and then she was going to be in another room and asking the questions. Because, like, you know how it's like you see it on like videos and YouTubes and stuff like that. The person standing right next to the person, they're like, they can't hear me right now. They have noise canceling headphones, and they're like. noise canceling, but you can still hear somebody. So we wanted to do like a
Yeah.
distance one to be like, oh, we're not, doing that kind of crap. But yeah, no, I know
Yeah,
what
we like
I
to
didn't
do
know it was called
distance,
that.
but this place was so small, and also I'm deaf, so I turn up the volume as much as possible where I'm sure you can hear it outside the headphones. And
So
the
it's all
most I can hear
static
is like
sound.
a yeah, and the most I can hear from outside the headphones is just like somebody's like the bass of their voice. I can't hear anything they say, even if they're right in front of me.
Dude, that's good.
So, I mean, they're $300 headphones, so it's like, they should be
They
pretty
better
noise
be like,
canceling.
yeah, they better be
Yeah.
noise canceling for that price.
But yeah, it was fantastic. We went with Patrick from the haunted side. So if your fans are paranormal fans, I'm sure they know who he is. And so it was a great time. He was a great host. We went to some cool places. But then we did the live that night, and then the next night, Patrick and I went just the two of us, and it was active, man. It was crazy.
It's awesome.
Like
So
something.
like,
There's two basements in it, and something ran through the two basements, like through the concrete, everything, and was shaking the building as they were running, and stood directly below me. It was pretty cool.
what do you mean stood directly below you?
Like you
Like, were
can
you
feel
upstairs?
it. I was on the main floor and they were in the basement.
Oh, no way. That's pretty cool.
And they stopped. I was sitting on the ground and they stopped directly, like the floorboard stopped shaking directly under where I was sitting.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
It was awesome. And I expect nobody to believe it even when they see it on camera. Because I
Good
am
on
a
you, sir.
skeptic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, exactly. Like I'm the same thing. I like it's called paranormal because you can't explain it, and but if you can, that's what I try to do. I try to explain everything, not to be like in a dick way, but like, oh yeah, I'll just make up something to make sure it makes sense. But like, if you can explain it fairly easily, it's not paranormal.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Yep.
like,
I
yeah,
know.
stuff
Like
like
the
that.
like you catch movement and you look up, like we had this too at that place. We heard movement above us and like, what is that? We look up, there's a fucking rat up there. Like,
There you go.
like
Exactly.
you're gonna get that. So you got to rule out any scratching sounds or anything like that.
And yeah, you're in a
Like
building
I
that
did
probably hasn't been walked in like 30 years, and people are like, look, it's creaking. There's something in there. It's like, no, that board hasn't been. You're connected to that board, and you're moving it over there. That's what's happening right
Yep.
now. The house hasn't been touched, and you're moving stuff. The house is settling still.
Yeah, it was a cool place, man. And some people screen recorded the live and sent me videos of stuff that they caught that I didn't even notice. Like it was cool. I love when people do that.
That's pretty handy. You got some pretty
Like
good fans if they're
I've
doing
always
that.
been a ghost nerd, and like I used to message like or email like ghost hunters back in the day, like you missed this.
That's
Like they
great.
never responded, obviously, but now like
Oh,
I have such cool fans, and they can send it to me, and I'm like, oh shit, nice.
yeah, it's like, God, I'm glad you sent me that. All right, so what's something that somebody saw that you didn't? Like, what was it?
They screen recorded. We were filming, so there's this little window for the basement, and when the haunted side was there, he was rounding the corner with his camera, and a hand reached out and went back in. And so, I stayed with him for like a week, and I was like, "Is that 100% legit?" He's like, "Dude, I had no idea it was there. Like, it wasn't until I was going over evidence that I saw it."
A
And so
hand
we,
was out and then came back
yeah,
in
just
from
went
behind a
into the
wall.
window. And so we set up equipment in that window, and they were setting stuff off on command. And I saw a little hand like peek over like that, and I was like, "No way!" Like it. I wonder if
No
it's like
fucking way.
residual. Like that was
That's
maybe that's
cool.
how the dude got out or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Or like somebody was trying to crawl out and he pulled them back in.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty cool.
so somebody like they put a filter on it where it makes it like monochromatic or something, and you can see somebody moving behind it, and you see these little things come down from the top, and they're like, "Oh, is there curtains or anything?" Like there hasn't been curtains there in 100 years. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like, curtains? That's the first thing that goes.
yeah,
Like, all right, so how many people were there? Just like it was you. Um,
it was me,
you
Patrick, and my wife Rachel.
okay, so there's
That
three
was
of you
it.
there. All right. And you made sure you guys were all accounted for when this was happening?
We're all sitting right next to each other. We're all
There
watching
you
it.
go. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly. I love it that you did that because there's so many times I've watched like stuff like that. They're like, "Oh my god, something's happening over there," and you're like, "Yeah, where's the third guy? I see
Yeah,
you two.
exactly.
Where's the third one?" And they're like, "Oh,
Yep.
we're," and then like y- he's, and then that stops, and next thing you know, he's come back and he's like, "Oh man, I found something over here when I was doing something completely different." And you're like, "Fuck off."
Exactly. I know the worst like so now when I go to a place I instantly turn my at least one camera on because the worst is when you have to go, oh, before we turn the cameras on this happened.
Oh,
Like it's such a
I hate that
trope.
so much. It is. It's such a trope, and it happened to us, and it bugs me so much because I talk so much shit about that. And then when we were doing J Ward, we were at a picnic table in the yard in the prison, and we were there for about 45 minutes to an hour, just us. And we're like, okay, we're not getting any hits. There's nothing happening. The cat balls aren't going off. There's no sound. There's nothing. All right, fuck it. Turn everything off. Let's get going. I turn the camera off. Lauren's turn everything off, and there's like one of her things just turns on by itself, and I'm like, get fucked. And I'm like, no. I'm like, and I'm like, turn the camera back on. I'm like, oh, and I was like, it happened to us. I'm like, ah, literally the thing I complain about the
Yep.
most, because they're always like, oh, this happened just off camera. I'm like, damn it.
Hmm.
I'm still
Yeah.
gonna bitch about it
No, it
though.
happened to us when we were leaving. When we left the Truckee house, my flashlight started like flickering and dying with brand new batteries, and that flashlight will last a week. Like if I just leave it on, and I
Hmm.
just put batteries in before we went, and then Patrick had I built custom REM pods, and he had one of my REM pods in his case carrying it out, and it's off, and it starts going off when my flashlight's dying, and we're
Oh,
like, well, nothing we can do now. And
yeah,
then
nobody's
so
gonna believe this.
I just threw that flashlight in the trunk, forgot about it when we got back. I was cleaning out the trunk, turn it on, full brightness, like full power. Like
Make any sense?
it just yeah.
Yeah.
The paranormal's weird, man.
It is super weird. Yeah, it's like it's one of those things, kind of like I'm a big skeptic, huge skeptic, and but I love the idea of it, and I love like just the concept that like okay, we have electricity shooting through our brains, like our neurons are always going off. There's energy there, and they've proven you cannot destroy or create energy. So when we die, where does that electricity, where does that energy go?
Yeah, that's a
And if there's
question.
and like when it comes down to it, and is that the ghost part? Is that the spirit part? That when it, like the electricity that just goes off and it has no place to go, so it's all random, and that's why you have sightings and sounds and stuff like that. If there's any way to be able to prove that that's what happens, how cool would that be? But until that happens, no,
Well, and it's like
like
anything else. You can prove it, and people are gonna be like, "Nah, dog, didn't happen."
no,
Like,
like
like
there's
we tell people the Earth is round, which has been proven
oh
for a very long
yeah,
time, and people are like, "Nope, it's flat."
no, it's flat because Antarctica. It's like fuck off,
Yep,
fucking. Those guys
the
bug me
water would
because there's
fall
like,
off.
yeah, the water would fall off. Like, you can just fall off the earth. Like, there's no such thing as gravity. It's like, what do you mean? Because the the plate, the Earth disk is going up real quick, so it's pushing you down. I'm like, that's stupid. That's their logic. Like, and also for some reason, a lot of flat earthers don't think Australia exists. I don't know
Oh, that's
why.
right. Yeah.
That's just a common thing, which is funny because there's so many people. I've met a couple people here that believe that the Earth is flat. I'm like, well, how can you pick and choose of the conspiracy that you think? Like,
It's like religion,
yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
which we pick and choose too in the paranormal. Like, I don't think most cryptids are real. I want them to be, but I
Oh,
don't think they
right.
are.
Uh,
Like,
I think at some time there may have been something that may have resembled the thing that they think is existing now, but over time, stories get twisted. Like
yep.
you add a little thing to give a little flair to your story. So like God only knows what it was originally.
Well, and then people will be like, "Oh, well, the natives believed it, so it has to be real." Like with skinwalkers and
Yeah. But
wendigos and all that. But I was just watching Josh Gates on Expedition Unknown, and he was at the
mhm.
Great Lakes, and the native tribes there believed there was like a puma that lived under the water, like a water puma, a
Okay.
water
Yeah.
lion that created the storms. Like just because they believed in something doesn't mean that it legitimately
Well,
happened.
and you also got to think back in the day, they didn't have science. They didn't have ways to
No.
measure how things actually work, like pressure in the air causes storms and thunder and lightning and all that kind of. So they kind of be like, well, I don't know, Puma water. Like maybe, or like
Yeah.
something. But a lot of old Aboriginal Native American stories, or even stories from different cultures around the world, a lot of the stories are to keep children from doing stupid shit or to stop people from going into the woods at night because a bear's going to
Yeah.
eat you or like a tiger's going to get you. Like, or don't eat like Wendigo. The Wendigo story, the one I've always heard is you become a Wendigo if you eat human flesh.
Yeah. So don't be a cannibal.
Yeah, just don't eat human flesh because you can get certain brain problems, brain diseases from eating human flesh and from eating human brain. So, if you eat
Yeah.
human flesh, you become a Wendigo, and a Wendigo, when you become a Wendigo, you have a hunger that you can't get it to go away until you eat more human flesh. So there's that. Like most of the time, it's just to get people to stop doing stuff.
Which maybe they're real, dude, because your light on your camera just got brighter. So maybe Wendigos are real and they're in Australia right now.
Maybe that'd be so cool. That'd be so awesome.
It would be cool. Well, it's like
People would be
like
fucked.
with skinwalkers, it basically boils down to don't be a piece of shit, or you're gonna turn
Yeah,
into one of these guys.
yeah, and
You
don't
know?
trust somebody who's weird. Like, be careful, but weird people. Like, they don't seem right. There's something wrong with them. Get away from them.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that footage? Speaking of
Yep.
skinwalkers, you know that footage of the lady on on the plane? You know where I'm going with this. The lady
Lady on
who's
the
like, I don't
no,
care. No, you don't know. Okay, so apparently, so the lady on a plane,
I don't.
she's freaking the fuck out. People have like video of her. She's like, I don't care if I get in trouble. I don't give a fuck. And she's yelling. She's like, but that man right there is not real. And she just gets the fuck off the
Oh
plane.
my
Like this is
gosh.
before, and I'm like, what? What's going? I'm like, and some people are like, oh, it could have been a skinwalker. And it's funny because Lauren, she's actually afraid of skinwalkers. She's like, couldn't a skinwalker get on a plane and like fly over here? I'm like, nah. I'm like, you got to think, skinwalkers are like, they look human, but they don't move right either. And then I'm like, oh, fucking skinwalker on a plane? God damn it. They're coming. But what
I know.
bugs me about
They
this is
also
that
don't have
nobody,
passports.
yeah, exactly. Like they steal your image and then they steal your wallet. Like I don't know, but they didn't get any footage of the guy. Nobody, not a single person. Like look back and be like, yeah, that guy is fucking weird looking, and just click like nothing. It's like
Huh.
the one thing he's you could fucking he's sitting in a chair. Just turn around, get the camera on him. Let me see what this guy looks like. But apparently she was freaking out.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with mental illness on that one.
You gotta think people aren't right. A lot of people not
No,
okay out there.
I know. She's probably like the same people you see outside the gas station fighting invisible people.
Oh yeah, the ones who like are just yelling at a telephone post.
Yeah, and you're like, the last one I saw, I was like, "Are you winning?" Because he was just screaming and throwing punches. And like,
Are
no
you winning?
offense, but I feel bad for him. But also, calm down.
Like, yeah. And you don't know you don't know what mental state she's in, and if she actually is maybe psychotic or having some mental problems, or yeah, she could be schizophrenic. There could be nobody sitting next to her. Like, you don't know. And
Maybe
how
that's how.
fucking
Maybe that's why they didn't catch his face. Maybe there's nobody there.
yeah, maybe there's just nobody there. And everybody's like, she's sitting by herself in three seats. What the fuck? But I would feel bad for
Yeah,
the guy who's there, but who's actually just a normal dude. Like he's just a guy. And like imagine his self-esteem just dropping. Just be like, I don't even look human. Fucking
yeah.
god damn.
Just
He walks home, just looks in the mirror, he's
destroyed
like,
him.
fucking shit. Like imagine he's single, can't get a date. He's like, is it because I don't look real? Like he's sitting at
And then
home just like
plot
kind of
twist, he looks down and he's got deer feet.
yeah. It's just deer feet. Fucking
Yeah.
but yeah, people are like everybody's making way like crazy conspiracy theories on this, but I'm like, did anybody get any picture of the dude? That's my main thing, and I can't find anything. But yeah, apparently she won't talk to anybody after this. She got in trouble. Apparently she got
I
arrested
wouldn't
because
either.
she made yeah, like so people are like, did she just panic? Did she just freak out? Did she have like a psychotic episode and now she's kind of calmed down or something and she's realized she fucked up?
Yeah, it could have been like
Like,
a full manic spiral, and that was just
yeah,
how it ended up.
it's on a plane too. You got
Yeah,
to think how
I mean,
stressful it is to go through a fucking airport.
yeah. I know we drove to Nevada. It was a 12-hour drive there. It was
To be
it was
fair,
such
that's
a
not bad.
pain.
But like,
No, it
yeah, but
wasn't
you got to go to
too bad. The way
Roswell.
back was worse. Yeah. Well, we got to go
What
to a
was
gas station by Roswell.
now?
They
Isn't
don't
there isn't
exactly
there a
let you on
typical?
that. Or not Roswell, sorry, Area 51.
That was it. Yeah, sorry, Area 51.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
So
they?
we got to go
Did the
to a
gas
gas
station have
station
like?
by there.
Did it have like
It
all
was
like
all
alien?
alien shit.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
nice. Oh, you always see that in TV shows where
Yeah.
like, oh, we're near Roswell, and like every spot they stop is just alien themed.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's a place I really want to go. Like I'm big on aliens too. I love the idea of it, but like I need to go there. I was so excited. Do you remember like years ago when they were planning on like rushing Area 51?
Storm Area 51. Yeah.
Oh man, I was so excited about that. Like like I'm like, are they gonna do it? Because people started showing up. I'm like, it's happening. Like, oh man, like and there's people like right there, like just fucking right there. I'm like, do it. I'm like watching this live. I'm like, somebody do it. Like, come on, one person just run. It'll trigger everybody, and like it never happened.
No,
But did
they
you
weren't
see
that
that there
dumb.
is? I know, but I was hoping they were. But like, there is footage. There is a video. I think a bunch of people just like there's that boom gate. That's the closest you can get to. It's like the little black box where the little mailboxing people like to sign. That's the closest you can technically get. But apparently there's I gotta find the video. There's I don't, yeah, they just started walking. There's a couple people, not during this whole like Storm Area 51 thing. They just decided just fuck it, we're going. And they just start walking up this road and the feds get to them like very quickly. Like
Oh, I bet.
and everybody's like everybody's looking around like there's nobody fucking here though. Like they just like
Which I
go
had no idea. Like, I was just driving and I was like, what is all this alien shit? Like, because I just pulled over for gas.
yes,
And then
fuck.
I was like, are we by Area 51? He's like, it's right over there. And I'm like, oh.
That's so
So we took
cool.
selfies with like their little like statue of an alien and,
That's really
bought
cool.
this
That's awesome.
hat that I think says like Intergalactic Highway or something like that. And then it says Area 51 on the back. But it took us
Yeah.
15 hours to get back because Nevada really sucks at their roads and it's only one lane each way. And we got behind a wide load truck that was doing 25 miles an
Oh,
hour for like 100 miles.
oh, that sucks. Fuck.
It was awful.
Jesus Christ.
I just told my wife, I'm like, you drive, I'm going to bed.
Yep, that's what it is. Take turns.
She knows
Yeah.
I don't have the patience.
I'm the driver. I
And
like
we
it.
were renting
It's
a car
better.
with like no power, so like I wasn't gonna be able to
Oh,
pass it. Like a little
so it's
four-cylinder
your
Camry we rented.
yeah. It's good on gas, but you're not going anywhere quick.
No, it was fantastic, I guess. I think the whole trip cost us like 100 and something bucks, like for
That's pretty
gas.
all. Jesus, that's amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're a paranormal person. What is your views on aliens?
I think they exist. I just don't think that most of the UFO sightings are aliens. I think they're just misidentified aircraft or
Yeah.
wishful thinking.
That's yes, exactly right. That's exactly right. Like, I honestly think that when people talk about aliens and coming to Earth, I'm like, why would they? Like, honestly, I'm like, if you really think about it, we're the monkeys to them.
I feel like they lock their doors when they drive by.
Oh,
Like they
totally
pulled
though.
into a bad neighborhood, they're like, fuck this place.
Well, literally, Earth is not the backwater town. It's the old rundown town that people forgot about and nobody comes back to anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how I
so,
feel about it too.
yeah,
Well, and I'm guilty
yeah.
of it too with misidentifying stuff. Like when we were like when it comes to alien shit. When we were driving back from Nevada, I was so excited because I saw this weird thing in the sky like moving like that. And it was glowing, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I went to get my phone out,
Hmm.
and as we got closer, the clouds moved, and it was the moon. But the way the clouds were going like this in the sky, it looked like a little craft floating back and forth and glowing. It was badass. They
Oh,
could have filmed it and been like UFO spotted over Phoenix, and people would be like, "Holy shit, I saw it too," even though they didn't.
nobody would question it. Nobody would. Yeah, exactly. They're like, yeah, I saw that too. I just didn't have a phone on me. It's like, yeah, you mean in the culture that everybody has a phone, you just didn't have yours
Yeah,
today? Like,
I
okay,
was the one guy that didn't have a phone.
I love that. I've talked to so many people like that. Uh, like they're big on paranormal stuff. They're huge on it. Like they do paranormal, and they're like, "Yeah, man, at my house, there's like stuff, and I'll watch stuff float around my room and stuff." I'm like, "Did you record it?" They're like, "No, I didn't have my phone on me." I'm like, "Okay, maybe," and they keep talking about different stuff they've seen in their house. Like, "Did you record it?" Like, "No, I didn't have my phone on me." You're telling me that you do this shit for fun and a living, and you have cameras everywhere, and the time you have like proof of something moving, you just don't record it? No?
Yeah,
That should be like
I know.
fucking you sh
If my
it's
house
like
was like that, I would have security cameras everywhere.
yeah, constantly filming.
Yeah, that's how I feel about these paranormal museums. And I'm like, you don't just have security cameras everywhere to catch your magic doll walking around at night.
Oh,
Like,
yes. I think we saw that in one of the reaction videos of like the doll was always moving and stuff like that. It's like you put a goddamn
mm-hmm.
camera, put a trail cam up. God, anything.
Yep,
They're like it keeps
anything.
moving itself. Anything. God damn.
What's a what's a cheap security camera? Like $20 on Amazon. Just get one and point it at it.
Yeah. Like goddamn, as long as it's like you
Like,
can kind of make out what it is, just do it. A trail cam, $150. It reacts to movement, so it won't record constantly. It'll just record when the thing moves and sound and infrared
yeah.
and like night vision. Like, come on.
Guy you were just talking about, like, oh, all this happens at my house. I was doing a TikTok live a couple months ago, and it was like a real lull in activity. And this guy kept commenting. He's like, I get more activity at my house. And I was like, well, go live and fucking send me an
Yeah,
invite. I'll come watch it. I never heard
yeah,
from him again.
exactly.
Like, people
It's
watch too
just
much TV and think that it's like, it's going to be like just jump
poltergeist.
scares everywhere. Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of just quiet.
People don't realize that. There's like you're watching these guys on like a half an hour TV show and all this crazy stuff's happening, but you don't realize that they got there around 7 p.m. the night before and they're leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then they got
Yeah.
3 hits. And they're not good
Yep. And
hits.
yep. So then they have to put in the interview of the client, and then they got to put in when they met with somebody to do some research on the place. Like,
Oh
they
yeah,
really got
and
to
then
fill
there's
that
always that one
airtime.
scene where there's one guy with the headphones on staring at the screen, and he goes, "Oh," and then it cuts to a commercial, and they might get back
Yeah.
to that,
Yeah.
and it's like something that he just goes, "Whoa, what was it? I saw something go." It's like that could have been any of the 8 members walking
Yeah.
by a shadow.
I saw a guy walk by. Like, was it the cameraman?
Yeah, and then they say something like, "It could have been somebody, but it could have been a ghost," and you're like, "You fuck, you motherfuckers! You just wasted half an hour of my life that I'll
Yeah.
totally probably watch next week too."
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch the next week.
Like,
But
honestly, that's why I really like Destination Truth.
he's the king of that. I was just
Isn't he?
gonna say
Yeah,
that.
he's the
Oh my
best
gosh,
because
Josh
he
Gates is the goat of throwing it to commercial. He'll be
yeah,
like, "Oh
oh
my
man.
god," and then
Yeah,
like
that's
cuts
what
to
I'm talking
commercial.
most of the time, it's that's what I was picturing. It was his sound guy going, "Oh," and then, yeah, commercial. It's like, I love him too because he will call people out and be like, "No, you're lying. That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense." Like, there's one video or he was going to check out a cryptid, and
Oh, you're
his
talking
his
about the Destination Truth days, the good old
yeah, I'm
days.
talking about
What a
the good
great
old
show.
days. I love that show. It was
Skinny
he
Josh
helped
Gates.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great. He was getting they took a boat to an area uh somewhere in South America, I think it was, and this one guy, he's like he called him stupid without calling him stupid. He's like, "This guy, he's our tarot guide. Now I don't want to say anything about him, but he does grab the blade from the wrong end." And there's a video he literally picks up his machete by the blade and then grabs the handle. Like it's like and the guy got them lost. He's like, "Man, where are we?" He's like, "No, no. This was the area that I brought my other guys to last time." He's like, "No, it's not. This is not the same area." He's like, "No, no, it's different though." He's like, "Yeah, I know it's different because it's not the same area." He's like, no, no. Last time the trees were bigger. He's like, trees don't shrink. We're in the wrong area. Like he just
Yeah.
calls them out. He's like, don't worry, I'll tell you stories. He's like, it better be about what we're going to look at. He's like, and it
Yeah.
wasn't, by the way.
He's
He's just like,
also the king of like belittling people without them knowing it. He's
oh
so
yeah,
good,
so
dude.
good. I know. There
He's
was
probably my
one video.
favorite TV host of all times.
Yes, because he gets into it, but at the same time, he does say stuff like, "Oh, that was probably one of us. It was probably
Yeah.
it wasn't what we thought it was." And the one where they're on the Doll Island down in Mexico, I think it was, and
When that eye
he's like,
blinks.
"Oh, the eye, oh, it opens."
Yeah.
And they're like, and nobody's touching it. I'll give him that. He's like, if this doll opens his eyes, he's like, I quit. And they're standing there watching it, and all of a sudden, tick, he's like, I'm done. And you see him walk away. He's like, nah, that is crazy. That was probably one of my
I
favorite
always wanted to
episodes.
pick his brain because, like, you can see he's a skeptic. What were they in
It's late for
Africa?
everybody.
They were like, they had like a digital recorder inside of a tree. There was like a bunch of voodoo stuff going on. And then
Yes.
they got EVPs and like music playing inside the tree and shit, which I want to pick his brain and be like, was that TV? Did it really happen? You know, like,
Yeah.
that was my stomach. That wasn't an EVP.
It's
Yeah.
it's not always a ghost, everybody. It's not always a ghost.
It's not always, but remember, everybody, all dust are demons.
Yeah.
Every dust
And
orb.
every sound is a demon. And an angry ghost, and everything's here to hurt you.
Yep. It's trying to scratch you or drag you or throw you or punt you or whatever else you see on
Push you down the
TV.
stairs,
Yeah.
shove you over. Well, yeah, it's just out to fuck with you. That's all ghosts do.
Yeah, we did a haunted trade station and the claims were that people were getting pushed down the stairs. I tripped on those stairs like 3 times. Like, it's not a ghost. The stairs are over
No.
100 years old. Like, they're
Like
wonky.
if you get pushed, or like so many people are like, I got pushed, I got shoved. It's kind of like, did you just fall? Like,
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay to trip.
I got scratched at the Truckee house because on TikTok Live, people were like, I bet you're too scared to go in the basement by yourself. So I did the Estes by myself in the basement. Like, I don't care. I got scratched on the leg twice and it doesn't bother me. But the weird thing is, Patrick and I both got pinched, like right here on our hands. Like somebody just walked up and went, pink. And like,
Huh.
super weird. We checked for bugs. Like, it was the exact same spot on both of our hands. And I didn't say anything to him when it happened to me. I said it to the camera, like away from him.
That's interesting. That's pretty cool. I wonder if that has anything to do with anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just they like to pinch.
Maybe. Could be what they're into. Alrighty. So, JT, what's some good advice to give to new paranormal investigators before we sign off?
Um, don't be scared. I know it's easier said than done, but you've gone on investigations. It's not as scary as it seems.
It's not. It's like you're doing it to yourself. Most of it, you're
Yeah,
doing it to yourself. Like if you just
100%.
sit there, because like when I went and did J Ward with Lauren and Amanda came and everything like that, when everybody went to bed, I decided to go and down and do like not quite an EVP session, just like just by myself down in the kitchen dungeon area underneath the place. And you had to go down these stairs to this like little like courtyard that had no lights, and the door was hard to open. I have my phone in my hand recording myself, so I got the light from the phone. I can't see anything, and I know for a fact I'm freaking myself out. I'm like,
Oh,
there's
for sure.
nothing down here, and I'm like, every little noise, I'm like, it's nothing. I like there's possums everywhere, there's rats everywhere. I'm like, it's nothing. But yeah, most of it was just me freaking myself out.
100%. You know, and I'm sure the viewer likes to see that when people freak out.
Oh yeah.
It's so I think it's kind of hurt me in the long run because I rarely do it. So, but like think about okay, so if you get scratched or you get like a push or something like that, you're gonna get more hurt by like your toddler or your dog. You know what I mean? Like you get scratched by those things too. You're not like, oh, you know what I
Like,
mean?
oh
So,
my
but
God. Like, yeah. Don't panic.
yeah, and I will say though, it is a lot in your head because I did. the haunted ranch that we go to a lot. I did it by myself the last time, and I started getting in my own head. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, what could happen? Like, because I'm here alone, I'm 50 miles away from civilization by myself. Like, so, but yeah, don't freak
yeah,
out. I know it's scary because you can't see it, or sometimes you can.
yeah.
And like, I know TV and YouTube has led so many people to think that everything's evil or a demon or whatever, but I promise you it's not.
I know. That's weird to think that automatically, like everything's a demon, everything's
Yeah.
a spirit. Like, who the hell are you talking to? Like, I love that.
Could you imagine, uh, like, you're a ghost and you're just like somebody's grandpa? And they're like, oh
We're
my
just chilling
God,
at.
there's a demon in here. And you're like, who? Where?
Where?
Like,
What?
fuck, I don't see him.
What? Where'd you guys see him? We're like, what's going on? They're like, he's over in the corner.
And
Like,
it's
I'm
just
in the
because you
corner.
have a deep voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he
And you're
behind
like,
me?
I'm in the corner. What? You guys watching my back? And then you're like, then you realize you're like, they're calling me a fucking demon.
Yeah.
The
This is my
Christ,
house.
motherfucker, I died here. You call me a demon? And then they just start fucking with me. And be like, fine. You want to see a demon? I'll show you a demon. Like, they just turn on you.
Yeah.
They have feelings too, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I wondered if ghosts have feelings.
And would they care?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
be
one of those
such a
things.
troll when I'm dead.
Oh, yeah. If it is a thing, I'm going to try my hardest to be a prick because
Yeah.
the best way I could, the best thing, like the good example is, do you remember the movie is it Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the part where he's on the subway and there's that just asshole ghost he just rides the subways and he's walking by people just smacking coffees out of their hands and knocking the fucking newspaper
That's
and shit. I'm like
hilarious.
that. I'm doing that. That's what
That's
I'm
gonna be the
doing.
Nathan ghost. Nice.
Yeah, just gonna walk around, just like put my foot out, trip kids. Like you see a
Yeah,
kid, just
like
all of a sudden his ice cream just drops. Me.
nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be like they're gonna do EVP sessions and I'm just gonna put my mouth over the recorder and be like, I'm a demon.
They're like, what the hell is that? Or I'm gonna say random shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna get real closer. Oh my god, is he saying something? Burger King. Like what?
Did it just
Fuck
say
does that
Burger
mean?
King?
It's Brittany, bitch. Is that what the fuck?
And then they're gonna be like, is
What?
your name Brittany?
And it's kind of like, and then you just say something French, and that's it. You just end it.
Yeah. That would be
I'd
so
be so
great, dude.
confused. Yeah,
Or like any cryptid just start saying that you are that. Be like,
yeah.
who's in the house with us? And you're like, Chupacabra.
Chewbacca. Chewbacca. He must be foreign. Like it'd be
Yeah.
dumb as shit. And then he's like Sasquatch. You're like, oh my god, are we talking to a ghost cryptid? Yeah. Why aren't there ghost cryptids? I just thought about that
Oh.
now.
See, but that's what some people claim though. Is it like Bigfoot's like a being, he's like
Yes,
interdimensional and
I've
so
heard that
maybe
too.
Bigfoot is a ghost cryptid.
Maybe. I've actually, yeah, I have heard about the interdimensional stuff, but like how technically this is the same thing with like a chupacabra, skinwalkers, everything. This is a major theory is that let's say we all live in an apartment building and we're all on our normal levels of existence. But in an apartment building, you don't see everybody who lives in the apartment building, but you can potentially run into them in the lobby. So there's certain areas in
Oh.
our world that overlay each other. And that's the lobby area, the stairs, the areas that you can't, you live in an apartment, you run into a guy once every like 3 years, and that's where we run into Bigfoot. It's where we run into like, the the chupacabra or like the bunyip or like anything. Is
Yeah.
those rare areas. And it's not even the same place every time. And that's why
That
you
makes
don't
sense.
see that's yeah. And I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, that opens up a whole different world of like dimensions and realities, and that's a whole different ball game now.
Or what if these cryptids are ghosts of cryptids and you're seeing a residual haunting of the past?
That'd be crazy.
I don't even
That would be
smoke
cool.
weed and I came up with
I
that.
know that's good. Like, god damn.
Man, I'm
That's a
proud of myself. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
like
that's a good one.
trademark that or something.
Yeah, yeah. Trademark it quick, because like when we post it, people are
Yeah.
gonna be like, wait a minute. Yeah, it could be. Like
To me,
we
that would
see
be the most
yeah,
plausible thing out of all of them.
yeah, actually, yeah. If ghosts are real, why aren't there ghost cryptids? And maybe, yeah, maybe cryptids don't exist anymore, but we're seeing, yeah, the residual energy
Yeah.
of the cryptid walking through the woods
It's
or in the
no different
buildings.
than like when you go to Gettysburg and like people see like the ghost of like the little drummer boy or like people carrying, Confederate flags walking through there.
Yeah,
Like it's the same thing. It's a residual haunting.
yeah, and they would stay technically in the same area, but they
Yeah,
wouldn't be
same
there all the
area.
time. Yeah,
And you would just have to be super lucky to catch them on camera, and that's why they can disappear so fast.
and then you also got to think too, Bigfoot. If you've ever been to like Banff or any type of mountain range, and you just look over the vastness of where he could possibly hide, like I remember I was in Banff. We were up at one of the mountains that you have to take a gondola to get to the top. And like we get up there, and I'm just looking over like this vastness of mountains and forest as far, and it just disappears into like the horizon. I'm like, I could hide in there.
Oh
Like
yeah, for
it's
sure.
fucking
And
like
you could
it's
die in there, and
insane.
nobody would ever find your bones.
Exactly. Exactly. So like to run into a residual energy ghost of Bigfoot in the right spot at the right time,
I
that's it.
might be a
Like
fucking genius. I don't know. I need
fucking
to get
I think
tested.
that's amazing. You might be like part of like Mensa or something.
I feel like my autism and my ADHD just came together
They
and
fucking
created
that
this
was just
beautiful
perfect.
moment.
That was like the yin and yang just happened instantly. You just like you hit like Nirvana right there, and you
I
fucking
do feel enlightened now.
yeah. You that's I think that's a good spot to end it on
Yeah,
that really massive high note of
you're
like
welcome.
residual energy on with cryptids. I love it. That takes two cryptids and paranormal and just
I think we
we
just did the
found the gap.
impossible.
We just found the gap. We just you found the
Yeah,
gap. You, that's it.
but we
We
bridged
did it.
it together.
We bridged it together. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
That's
Well,
awesome. All right,
that's
man.
what we're
Thank you
ending
very
on.
much. That's where we're at. We're ending on that. That was amazing. That's perfect. Residual energy of a cryptid. That just sounds awesome.
It also sounds like a great metal band.
It does. Residual energy.
Residual cryptid energy.
Eh, Residual cryptid energy. I love that. People be like,
Thanks
"Oh,"
for coming out to Denny's. We're residual cryptid energy. One,
and there's
two,
just some
three.
old guy.
Bah!
There's just some old guy sitting in the corner eating like cream cheese. Like fucking.
What the? Yeah, and some
It's
dude
like
just screaming. Oh, it'd be so good.
fucking love that. That's amazing. All right. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate it. Anybody who's listening, go check out Atrox Paranormal, and you'll enjoy it. Like he's a great host, and he's open minded, but also a skeptic all at the same time. And I love that. I love it.
Well, I appreciate it.
You question
Yeah,
everything, and that's the best. You don't
you
just
should.
automatically like it's a ghost. It's
Oh,
not always a ghost.
I'd like to give a shout out to Above and Below Paranormal. I was just watching their live before we got on here. They spent probably 40 minutes trying to debunk why the REM pod was going off, and
Perfect.
they
Love it.
they were on top of it. They did everything they could. And even I was like, "All right, guys, just admit that it went off." Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
it's like
mean?
a
Like,
fucking Jesus. But
yeah,
that's
so
good. That we need that type of dedication.
yeah. And keep an eye on my YouTube and also the Haunted Side's YouTube. I should be on their channel and he should be on our channel coming up. So I just got to
That's
put those
awesome.
episodes together.
All right, sweet. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. Hope you have a wonderful night. Go get some sleep.
All right, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here.
No problem. Anytime.
Later.
All right, bye, man.